So I decided I didn't want to keep going with equestrian when I came to Oxford. I had done it my whole life. I'd grown up on a horse farm. And so I wanted to try something new. I figured I would come here and I was like, oh, maybe I'll join a society, do something like that, join my MCR. But they had a rowing taster day where they offered free beef burgers at the taster day, and I was feeling quite peckish that day. So I decided to come down and give it a try. And it was a really nice group of people, and I figured, oh, I'll try doing this. Maybe I'll row in the summer eights, you know, do the bumps racing at Oxford. And they ended up being my best friends, and still my best friends at Oxford, even though that was 5 years ago. They're all gone now. Yeah. I'm the only one left. But yeah, it was just a really good, tight-knit group of people, good social atmosphere, and it really made me want to keep going. You know, none of them did history, but it was nice to have people that sort of shared the Oxford experience, but that I wasn't directly competitive with in any way. Like, they were all doing their own thing. My best friend was a Japanologist, and sort of you took comfort in the fact that everyone was working really hard, and then it was difficult for everyone. But then we had this other activity that we could all sort of join in and have fun doing together, and it was nice.
Yeah, there is. I think that my college, so I'm at Magdalen College at Cambridge, my college has been really supportive. We have a really strong MCR, which is the graduate student community. So there are a lot of events there that really bring people together. And I think another really special thing is, since I've been here for 4 years, I have friends that I may have rowed with in my first year at Cambridge who are still at Cambridge, but they're working, they finished their course and they're still there. So it's really great to be able to have them to rely on as well. I mean, I think it's just kind of an organic process of being a part of the sport of rowing because it is so team intensive. I mean, you're rowing with 8 other people in a boat. You have to be in perfect harmony, you know, linking up with each other. So it really forces you to connect with people. And then, you know, outside of the boat, we have a lot of performance culture events and things with our sports psychologist. We have our weights program, we're on the ergs. So we spend a lot of time outside of the boat, probably more time together outside of the boat than we do in the boat. And those types of situations really help us to build those friendships.
That was very much my rowing friends. I think after 3 years of not really being involved with college life, that was kind of a done deal at that point. I wasn't going to embed myself within the college, so I lived with, I think, 6 other guys on the rowing team, and they were very useful. They were a pair of Kiwi brothers, the O'Connor brothers, who were just very sensible, basically told me to get on with my work, so I did.
So the university life, it's a bit different here in Cambridge. So the Cambridge University Boat Club is a private entity. We're supported by the university and on a college level. So I'm at Hughes Hall. There's 32 colleges at Cambridge, and each one takes a very different approach to university sport at the varsity level. Thankfully, Hughes Hall has been incredibly supportive, and they're very proud of their blues. And so we get a bit of help in that regard, but you're really left to your own devices in terms of finding a balance or striking a balance between studies and athletics. And there's quite a bit of autonomy when it comes to how you want to approach your studies, especially with my course with classics, which involves just a lot of reading and writing. So I'm able to sort of, if I know I have a tough session the next morning, I'm able to go to sleep a bit earlier knowing that I'll find time to do the work. And especially, most of it is left to after the race. Don't tell my tutors or supervisors that, but no, it's really actually been quite easy. And I think it's something that a lot of people, they stay away from the sport, either at the intramural or recreational or varsity level, just because they think they won't be able to hack it. But I'd tell them, just give it a try, by all means.
It's about half and half. Like, I have several really great friends on the MBA and some really great friends on the team. But I think there's a core group of 5 of us who are pursuing both the MBA and our rowing, which is great because I have a group of people that I can study with. We're on the same schedule, so we're doing all the same things all the time. And when the rest of our MBA class is going out, we can kind of commiserate in the library about, like, wouldn't it be more fun if we were doing something else? But
it probably didn't take me until second year, maybe halfway through second year. Definitely my first time, I had no idea what I was doing. I was woefully underprepared. I didn't realize the amount of preparation you needed for a supervision or an essay. I wasn't really used to the way it was working. And a lot of first year felt a little bit like, you know, frantically paddling beneath the water, trying to keep everything afloat, keep everything fine, and sort of also trying to enjoy it. But by the time I got kind of partway through second year, I felt like I'd really hit my groove, and I was, you know, I was like, I'm going to go to every lecture and write notes, but I don't have to do everything outside of that time. that's my time to myself, and I found that was a really good balance because I was able to engage with everything in my course but also switch off from it when I left the lecture theatre.
So primarily, because we've spent so much time around the guys on the team, you find yourself always doing a lot of the kind of activities, day-to-day stuff with them, but actually the American system and in general the university system is that you take classes with a lot of different people, so there you can kind of find and meet friends from different kind of areas of the university and areas of life, and yeah, so I kind of put myself out there in a few different ways, and you manage to make friends in different kind of circles, and yeah, it's like a pretty good way to make friends and feel familiar with a new place.
Well, I suppose with my rowing at least, my first year wasn't very successful at Cambridge. I didn't make a boat in my first year. I got cut from the squad around Christmas time. And so it was actually quite nice after Christmas in my first year being able to relax a bit more in my college environment. And then in my second year, I was fortunate enough to make the blue boat and win the boat race. So it was quite a big step on rowing-wise between my first and my second year. And in a sense, looking back, I'm well, not pleased, but it wasn't such a big downside not making a boat in my first year because it meant I could actually forge some stronger friendships within my college.